Hi, and thanks for joining me for another edition of Gio and Mr. Mysterio review Rock and Roll Wrestling Australia. I'm Gio, a lifelong wrestling fan. Unfortunately, I missed the last show due to other reasons, but was there for the first round of qualifiers for the Super 8 tournament. And here I'll just review the card. Joining me again is the dark half, Mr. Mysterio. Joining you? You're lucky I let your ugly mug in these videos, and less you say the better. Yes, I'm the dark half, Mr. Mysterio, and I know you're all here to hear what I've got to say about the last rock and roll wrestling show. Well, you're in fine form, so let's get into it. Okay, the first match was Big Fudge versus Otis, with a spot in the Super 8s on the line. Otis won the last Super 8s and, of course, is the former champion. This was a great opener. Fudge once again appeared overpowered, outsized and outnumbered with Alf in Otis's corner. When Fudge went for a chokeslam and Otis powered out, I thought it was going to be the end of the road for the much-loved Fudge, but he slid out of the GTS and hit the butt punch and the chokeslam for an unlikely win. Mr. Mysterio, looks like your boy Otis is in a bit of a slump. First of all, if you keep calling the legend, the Punisher Wayne Pickford, Alf, I will slap the taste right out of your mouth. I don't know what you're whinging about either, because Pickford did his job as a manager and didn't really get involved at all. In fact, Fudge showed what a crummy bloke he is by punching him. Yes, Otis has unfortunately had a few L's lately, but when you look at his resume, you can see he is still the preeminent force, the blue blood in rock and roll wrestling. And he'll be back in the winner's circle soon enough. He's had some bad luck and some lousy refereeing, and there are plenty of slow counts when he had Fudge covered here. I maintain he'll have gold again sooner rather than later. And for the record, as the defending Super 8's champion, he should have a wild card into the tournament anyway. Hang on, I'm just going to go organise a change.org petition to make that happen. The next match was another Super 8 qualifier, this time Hydro versus Lee the Man Morrow. Hydro had the man unsettled and seemed to have his chance, but I must concede that in the end, Morrow appeared far too good for a gallant Hydro and won the match and his spot in the Super 8 tournament. Holy moly, you're starting to make sense. Yes, the man was too good for Hydro. Hydro doesn't even deserve to be in the same ring as Morrow. He's a serious, highly talented wrestler against some gangman-style dancing freak. Morrow hit him so hard Hydro's eyes were on the side of his head, and I think he's a huge threat to take out the whole shebang. In fact, give me $50. I want to put a bet on. Big call, and keep dreaming. You're not getting anywhere near my wallet. I'm still waiting for you to pay me the $50 you lost to me at the last rock and roll wrestling event we went to. But on to the next Super 8 qualifier. One half of the tag team champions Jay Sorbet against Morgan Rose. Sorbet dominated the early going, as to be honest I expected, because he is, in my opinion, one of the top tier talents on the rock and roll wrestling roster. A series of dirty tricks got Rose back into the match, but Sorbet is a fighter and, riding the adrenaline from the crowd, regained the ascendancy. He did make a mistake though at the end, as he looked to end the match with a huge moonsault, but Morgan Rose got his knees up and snuck a victory with the help of a handful of tights. Wow, how biased can you be? It's not Morgan Rose's fault Sorbet is too worried about what the kiddies in the crowd think of him to focus on his opponent. Rose showed real toughness here and is a real dark horse for the overall win. Remember, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. We then had a short intermission, and the next match was another Super 8 qualifier. Originally billed as the tradie versus Robbie Zuko, but Robbie couldn't make it due to a pressing concern according to his cousin Donnie, who substituted. Donnie fooled around for a bit and really didn't look like he wanted any part of the tradie at all. But the match had barely got underway when Lucas Parker slid into the ring and took out the tradie's knee with a vicious strike from a baseball bat. The attack continued, with Parker reminding us all he put Tradie's apprentice on the shelf, and I honestly thought he wasn't going to stop until the tradie finished there too. He did eventually issue a warning to the tradie to face him. Tradie won the match by disqualification, and I hope Lucas Parker is suspended and heavily sanctioned for his actions. He's straight up deranged. And here you go again with your tradie love. I see you singing along to his theme song, clapping and cheering like a trained seal. But damn, it's good to see Parker with this edge, and really looking like fulfilling his potential. I missed a show where he put the apprentice out on compo, but Tradie won't just be out on compo. He'll be on the pension when Parker is done with him, and I hope the powers that be get him and Tradie in the ring so Tradie can't dodge him anymore. The tradie wouldn't dodge anyone, and I think Parker should be careful what he wishes for. I think if the tradie gets his hands on him, well, it'll be a short-lived comeback and he'll be back in the referee stripes soon. But that was all we had for Super 8 qualifiers, and it was time for the main event of the evening. Defending champion Hunter Hayes against Eric Fisher, who won the #1 contendership at Rock and Roll Wrestling The Return. I'm still new at doing this video editing, but I think you can find that review show somewhere on the screen here. Before the match, there was a touching moment when Hunter and Fisher led the crowd singing happy birthday to one of Hunter's oldest friends. I've been lucky enough to meet Hunter away from the ring, and he's not just a champion in the ring, but a champion of the community as well, and it was just a really nice moment. Hey, people think I'm a bad guy, but this was really, really nice. I've got to admit it. People might think I'm soft or whatever, but yeah, this was a nice moment, and I enjoyed it too. But before the action got underway, we were interrupted by Parker Thomas. He claimed he really beat Fisher at the last show and wanted in the match. Credit to Hunter and Fisher, they had no need to allow the loudmouth Thomas into the match, but they agreed, and a triple threat it was. And what a match. High-paced, fast action, and I thought Fisher was the absolute standout. They continually had Thomas gasping for air on the outside. The match built and built, but unfortunately Fisher's dominance perhaps cost him the match. He was charging at Thomas in the corner, but Thomas pulled poor old referee Dicko into the way. Fisher then hit the fisherman's suplex on Hunter, but Dicko was unable to make the count. Parker took advantage, revived Dicko, got Fisher out of the way and tried to steal the victory, but only got the 2. He got a bit bent out of shape after that, and Hunter caught him with the DDT to remain the champion. A great match, and afterwards Hunter really gave Fisher a rap and basically told us everything that any wrestling fan who's been to one of these shows will know, and that is that Fisher will be one of the headline names for a long time to come, with gold in his future. Okay, it was a nice moment before the match, but now we're into it. Hugs and kisses get you nowhere. Gee, we're lucky Thomas got involved, otherwise it would have been these two telling each other how much they loved and respected each other. It was more of a handicap match, with these two trying their best to eliminate Parker Thomas from the match. I did like Hunter showing a little bit of an edge, teaching the rookie a thing or two, like sneaking up behind him and rolling him up, but he went back to his fan-based cheery ways, and we're fighting for the gold here. We need to see some nastiness. And I was shocked with the result, because Parker Thomas can't lose. But lose he did, and once again Hunter stole a victory. Stolen victory? Never mind. There's no talking sense to you. But it was a great match, a great card, and this wraps up our review show. Again, if you like, subscribe, comment on the videos, that's very much appreciated. But the most important thing you can do is that if you're in the Rock and Roll Wrestling Australia radius, get yourself to a show, get on their Facebook page and show them some support. They put on a really great night's entertainment. That's twice I've agreed with you now. I must be sick, I'm off to the doctors. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with a review of the next Rock and Roll Wrestling show whenever it rolls around, which I don't think will be too far away. But once again, thank you, and don't forget to support their product.